Hello, welcome to any community. In this particular video, we are going to discuss Udakavaha Srotas, its applied aspect, and Srotodushti Karana, Lakshana, and Srotovitha Lakshana. Is the Srotas which is actually regulating the fluid in the body. Because of the abnormal functioning of Udakavaha Srotas, there may be a possibility of either reduced concentration of Udaka or fluid, or there may be a possibility of increased concentration of Udaka or fluid. So here, what actually Udakavaha Srotas refers to? It is the Srotas or channel which is having the two ends, that is Srotomula. On one end it will be Talu or palate, and on the other end it is Kloma. So Kloma is, as per the Ayurveda textbook, it's a controversial organ. So, but one thing that is being said, that it is a Pipasa Sthana or location where the site of what you say that the thirst can be. So further, as far as the Sharira Rachana point of view, it is being mentioned that is being present on the left side of the abdominal region. Right side, that is the Yakrat or liver is being located, whereas on the left side, this particular Kloma is being located. And think about this, we can able to say that there may be a possibility of pancreas, which is actually regulating the, what do you say, that the fluid portion. So there is another organ which is actually responsible for the regulation of the fluid, that is the adrenal gland. That too, the hormone, that is aldosterone, which is a type of mineralocorticoid, which is actually regulating the Udaka portion there. So that means there may be a possibility of entry of the pathogens either through the Talu, what we can say the oral cavity, or there may be a possibility of the entry of pathogens that can happen through the Kloma. That may be either, it may be a pancreas or the suprarenal gland. So regarding the other Srotas end of Udakavaha Srotas, other Srotomula. So that means there may be a possibility of the other organs affliction. So there may be a possibility of the affliction of Kloma later if the Talu is being affected, or there may be a possibility of affliction of Talu later when there is Kloma affliction is seen. As far as Nidana of Udakavaha Srotas Dushti are concerned, औष्ण्याद आमाद भयात पानाद अतिशुष्कान्न सेवनात् अम्बुवाहिनी दुष्यन्ति तृष्णायाश्चातिपीडनात्. If you split this, औष्ण्याद आमाद भयात पानात् अतिशुष्क अन्न सेवनात् अम्बुवाहिनी दुष्यन्ति तृष्णायाः च अतिपीडनात्. So if you look into the meaning, औष्ण्याद, when the person is having the habit of consumption of Ushnavirya substances frequently. Amat, when there is the presence of Ama present in the body, maybe in the intravascular compartment, or maybe in the alimentary canal, or maybe in the interstitial compartment, or it may be in the intracellular compartment. In any of these, if the Ama, or what we can say, the macromolecules are being present, there may be a possibility of a Udaka Kshaya that may be possible. Bhaya, when the person is having the fear. Panat, when the person is having the consumption of excess fluid. Atishushkanna, so that means when the person is consuming the substances which are very dry in nature. For example, dry vegetables, etc. And when the person is suffering from Trishna, a disease where Pitta dominance and affliction of Rasa and Udaka is being seen. So because of these reasons, we are going to say that there may be a possibility of Udakavaha Srotas affliction. Now, we are going into the details of all these as such. When you think about the Ushnavirya substances consumption frequently, what actually happens is there may be a possibility of inflammation that may happen either in the stomach or small intestine or in the large intestine. So when there is inflammation in the stomach or large intestine is happening, this may lead to the movement of the fluid from intravascular compartment into the capillaries of the stomach or small intestine and large intestine, which in turn results in the shrinkage of a intravascular compartment that can happen. So that is what we can say the Udakakshaya, what we can say. So this may lead to the transport of the fluid substances from interstitial compartment or intracellular compartment into the intravascular compartment later. Like that, Ushnavirya substances consumption may have an impact in reducing the interstitial compartment and intracellular compartment in due course of time. When you think about the ama, so that is nothing but the macromolecules. This may be present in the alimentary canal, or this may be present in the intravascular compartment, or that may be present in the interstitial compartment, or that may be present in the intracellular compartment. Whenever there is the macromolecules present in any of these, this may be leading to slower movement happening in these different compartments. Whenever there is slower movement, so that may become a breeding place for the proliferation of microbes, which in turn results in the production of inflammatory markers, which in turn results in the transport of the fluid from the surrounding parts. So like that, so there may be a possibility of Udakakshaya that can be observed locally, depending upon the nature of a Nidana Sevana as such. So like that, whenever there is ama is being observed, this may be resulting in the Udaka Kshaya in due course of time. As far as Bhaya is concerned, this may be leading to the activation of sympathetic nervous system. Whenever there is activation of sympathetic nervous system, this may be leading to the increase of what we can say the sympathetic activity. So that is increased heart rate or the reduced secretions that can be observed in the alimentary canal. So that is leading to the dryness of mouth, or the reduced secretions may happen in the stomach or small intestine or large intestine, etc. So like that, so this may be resulting in the Udaka Kshaya. So that is initially that can be observed in the mouth itself. That is what we can say the Talu itself. Pana. So here Pana refers to excess consumption of water or fluid portion. So normally the 1.5 to 2 liters of the fluid that will be consumed on an average by an individual in 24 hours. As far as output of this particular fluid is concerned, nearly 1.2 to 1.5 liters that will be expelled in the form of urine in 24 hours, and nearly around 100 ml of the fluid that will be passed in the fecal matter, and nearly around 400 ml that will be passed from the sweat. As such, nearly the input maybe is equal to output. If the person is consuming the fluid more than the output, this may be resulting in the Udaka Vriddhi that can happen in the body. So this may be resulting in the Shotha, either it may be localized or generalized in due course of time. Thus, Udakavaha Srotas affliction can be predicted. Adi Shushkanna Sevana. Whenever the excessive dry substances, if the persons are consuming naturally, so this is responsible for the more and more the transport of the fluid from the capillaries of the stomach or small intestine, large intestine. Thus, this may be resulting in the shrinkage of intravascular compartment in due course of time. Trishna. So this is considered to be a pitta dominant disease. So that means whenever a person is having the consumption of pitta vitiating diet, it is been mentioned that Kattam Loshna Vidahitishna Labana Krodha Upamasa Atapastri Samprakatilatasi Dadisura Shuktara Naladibi Bhukti Jirite Bhojanecha Sharadi Gishmasiti Pranina Madhyani Tata Artharatri Same Pittam Prakopam Raje. If the person is having the exposure to these kinds of the Nidana, so that may be resulting in the Pitta Dosha vitiation. Thereby, there may be a possibility of a Udakakshaya, wherein the person is having the Pratyatma Lakshana of a Sarvada Ambukamitvam. So that means he will be having the liking towards the consumption of fluid frequently or consumption of water frequently. So this is indicative of Udakakshaya is happening in the body. Now, how to identify the Udakavaha Srotodushti? प्रदुष्टानां तु खल्वेषाम् इदं विशेष विज्ञानं भवति तद्यथा जिह्वाताल्वोष्टकण्ठक्लोमशोषं पिपासां चातिप्रवृद्धां दृष्ट्वा उदकवाहन्यस्य स्रोतांसि प्रदुष्टानि इति विद्यात्. If you split this, प्रदुष्टानां तु खलु येषाम् इदं विशेष विज्ञानं भवति तद् यथा जिह्वा ताल्वोष्टकण्ठक्लोमशोषं. So here जिह्वाशोषं, तालुशोषं, ओष्ठशोषं, कण्ठशोषं and क्लोमशोषं. Pipasam cha atipravruddham, that is atipravruddha pipasa. By looking into that, we are going to say that the person is having Udakavaha Srotodushti. When you think about the Lakshana, there may be a possibility of dryness of the tongue, that is Jihva Shosha. Talu Shosha, dryness of the palate. Oshta Shosha, dryness of the lips. So here the image shows the dryness is happening in the lips. Kantha Shosha, the dryness of the oral cavity or throat region, wherein the person is unable to speak at all. Kloma Shosha, the dryness of the Kloma, or what we can say the Pipasa Sthana, or what we can say the Kapha Sthana. So that means the over functioning of a pancreas or adrenal gland, that is the over functioning of that, wherein the polyuria may be a possibility. So the person may develop the Udakakshaya as such, and Pipasa, that is thirst. In all these occasions, we are going to see the Udakavaha Srotas affliction. When there is Udakavaha Srotas injury or Srotovidhata is happening, then two Lakshanas are being mentioned by Sushruta, that is Pipasa and Sadhyo Marana. Pipasa is indicative of what we say that the thirst. So Sadhyo Marana, that is said by death of the person within 7 days. So because these are actually responsible for the hypovolemic shock. Whenever there is hypovolemic shock, we can able to observe the fluid retention in the body. Sometimes there may be a possibility of dark coloration of urine, etc. that can be observed there. The take-home messages from today's discussion are: Udakavaha Srotas affliction can be associated with either Udakakshaya or Udakavriddhi, which may be seen in the patients of Trishna or Shrotha respectively. Talu or Kloma affliction can be observed in case of Udakavaha Srotodushti, and this may be associated with the either Jihva Shosha, Talu Shosha, Oshta Shosha, Kantha Shosha, Kloma Shosha, and Pipasa in case of Srotodushti, and there may be a possibility of Pipasa or Sadhyo Marana in case of Srotovidhata Udakavaha Srotas. Dear ANA community, that's all for today. What are the major key takeaways from today's discussion? Mention in the comment box below. And what is the one video that you would like to hear in this particular channel? Mention in the comment box below and spread this particular video to maximum number of true Nidana learners so that we can make a huge movement out of this particular small message. That's all for today. Something more in the next video. Thank you.